Yeah, or go insane.
Or run away. That's the other thing. Oh yeah, we played one Cthulhu game. The one with the carnival, what was it?
Oh yeah, we all died.
The dump one. The person was dragged through the gate. We played it twice, and both times we ran away.
Tom Dillon and I have played the Cthulhu board game this last weekend, just gone.
Was it?
Is it Arkham?
Yes. What was it? What's the name had that? In the guild. What was it?
Harriet.
That's it. I think we played one of those. Yeah, that's actually.
It's good fun, but yeah, we're gonna die.
Yeah, I kind of like how you have all these other games where you can feasibly fight against the monsters, and then Call of Cthulhu is just don't even try. This is not a heroic game.
No, I think it's much like Vampire.
You will die. It's how you get there that counts.
Yeah. It's like Vampire. With some of those, was it more powerful vampires? You do not want to go. Was it head toe to toe with them?
No, but you learn to strive.
Oh yes. And when they do dominate on you, and you're so low generation, and they just go, "Yeah, you're coming, aren't you?" Okay.
You learn to try and avoid those type of people, though.
Unless I'm mean to you.
Well, yeah, unless you're mean, and they just turn up in our house randomly, which is nice.
Yes. Right, I think I'll get on, if I can remember what we did last time. I'll go through bits and pieces. Where is it? Thursday the 2nd, that's got to be it. I think if I remember rightly, you started off outside a burger place wondering what the hell was going on, with a photograph and a phone number, and you, before you did anything, you got a call from Mr. Smith to meet at the old Bull and Bush, where you were. Oh, you had the usual. Was it a telegram saying Tanaka Nebaru is a monster who will eat your brains with, what was it, with a soup spoon. Oh no, with a, I forgot what it was, my writing was terrible. You got it anyway. And basically, when you got to talk to Mr. Smith, he mentioned something about a mystery. If I remember rightly. The synopsis was...
Wasn't it about the exploded
yes.
machine?
Yes.
Yeah, they had uncovered it.
They recovered it and they wanted you to find out more about it, which I remember you did, and found some interesting. Was it pre-Egyptian? Was it symbols which looked remarkably like some symbols you saw in the museum later on, and I think you also discovered that you were not quite where you were before.
Yeah, we had time jumped to 2005.
Plus to a different...
And we were very confused for quite a while.
Yeah, and they used euros instead of... was it euros instead of dollars?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we really confused the poor chap who was driving the bus, because we were really confused.
That's it. You met with Mr. Morningstar again, didn't you?
So we had...
which basically...
Yeah, we have the picture of Mr. Takanara's daughter, and she's got very red eyes. And yeah, we then realised that we weren't in 2001, but 2005.
Yes.
We took the bus to the Bull and Bush, because we decided the pub was a good place to start.
No, you actually, Mr. Smith told you to meet him there.
Oh, did he?
Oh,
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, no, fancy home.
He said they'll find someone else to find the girl. You've got far more important matters to find out about this. Was it a site they found in London?
Didn't he say it was Colonel Smith? Something like that.
Or Major Smith.
Major Smith.
Yes.
Smith. Yeah, and he was very upset when we called him Mr. Smith instead of Major Smith.
He was.
Mr. Morningstar appeared, yes.
That's it, and it talked about reality, was it falling apart again, and said there was the individual behind it.
Yeah.
And he gave you a hint to research the symbols, of which you promptly did afterwards, and you found they were over 5,000 years old, from the, was it Fertile Crescent, between the Euphrates and Tigris rivers, something like that?
Yeah, something like that. We got a telegram.
That's it.
As well, from Tanya Hussein.
That's it. You also found the name of a name of a goddess called Tanith Hisusu.
Yeah.
Yep, who seems to be someone who was banished and was very closely similar. If I remember rightly, you were given pictures of the dig, and you were given a piece of metal with the symbols on. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, you met with...
It looked like a professionally done archaeological dig as well. It wasn't just like government people who were having a dig for stuff. This had been done by someone who was good.
Oh yes, and real. And there was a body in there too, if I remember rightly.
Yeah. And then the Russians turned up asking for Rexy, the T-Rex.
Gosh.
Oh yes. They were asking Mr. Kovac.
Yeah.
And much to Mr. Kovac's surprise, he has no idea what that was. We
then went to that really posh club.
Oh yes, you met with the green-eyed lady who basically
warned
with
you
off.
Dark hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically said no, it's not very healthy for you to do this.
Yeah.
Then
there was the vampire Theodore.
Yeah, they seek him here, they seek him there. The Frenchies seek him everywhere.
Oh, he's such bad news.
Yes. Yes, he was very surprised to see you. Walked around you and gave you one of those funny looks, as he does. If you're in the vampire game,
he looks at you like a sort of like a lion would look at a gazelle. It's that sort of a look.
Yes, he does. Yeah. He looks at you as if you're an object rather than a human being. And always smells of cologne.
Yeah, that's how you know if he's around.
And I think you had a peaceful evening, closely followed by a call from Matthew Taylor to meet him at Sarah's tea house.
Yeah.
The next day, in which you were... on the way there you saw an armoured APC carrier with German military markings going through the traffic. And... Yes, and he said he had a parcel for us, didn't he? He did.
Mr. Taylor.
He did.
A little machine.
Yeah. And he had been followed, but he'd given them the slip.
That's it.
Because apparently they were still following him.
Yes, as he said.
But not the version of him that we met.
And the box.
I don't know whether he's doing some sort of clone bullshit or whether he's just got a twin, but yeah.
That's it. And the box is a metal box with the familiar symbols on it. 3 terminals at one end. Buttons, 15 buttons marked on top from 1 to 9 and A to F.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's highly polished brass and steel. It actually looked much like the Infernal Machine looks, as in that sort of steampunky thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And there was a message there, keep this, you will know the time to use it. The time to use it when it comes. And you were told to keep it with you at all times.
Yeah. And then Mr. Kovacs remembered a combination, or what he thought could be a combination.
Yes.
Yeah, E33.
You had a paper given him with the combination 0AA0 on it. if I remember rightly.
No, I'm pretty sure it was A33A.
It
was
might be.
the number. I'm not sure.
No, it's
A33A written down.
Yeah, it might be. I might have got that wrong, but oh, okay. Yeah, you met up with some very weird guys who generally accuse you of cutting things up and treading on their feet again. Then you had another telegram. It said, all numbers you will get will be important, stop, friend, stop. And things, you had a familiar wave through yourselves, and you were sitting at sitting at the cafe again, the one where you were talking to the policeman 2 or 3 days before. If I remember.
I also had a conversation with the boy who delivers the telegrams about how he found us, because I wasn't sure how he always managed to find where we were, and he just said he had a talent for it.
That's right.
And I asked where he was based, and he said London. And then how did he get here? Oh, I ran very fast. You're like, what?
Oh yeah. Indeed, he does. And that was I think the last bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
All time had started all again. Now, so we'll start now. Okay. I think this is what actually will easily do as you look around. As you look further out from where you are, it's indeed the cafe you were at. But as you look further away, it gets fuzzy, as indistinct. You're like as if you look round, as you look further away, the buildings get more indistinct, and if you look really hard at the sky, it just comes out as blue.
Is it sort of
fuzzy.
heat haze, or is it something else?
It seems to be something else. It's as if it isn't defined.
And is this just all around us, like the immediate vicinity we can see things, and then everywhere else is blurred
You can
out?
see immediately around you, that seems to be fine, but as you go further out it starts to get more and more indistinct. And as you're talking, as you're looking around, I can't be mine. I've got it. My writing's terrible. Anyway, as you're turning around, a familiar voice says, glad you're here. As it was a little difficult to get you here, but I need a quiet word with you. And you look around and you see the gentleman in the cowboy suit, in the cowboy thing again. You remember the guy with the cowboy boot one where you blinked and he disappeared? The one where you can never quite remember his face, but you certainly remember his dress. And he's sitting at your table. You didn't notice him until he spoke. He smiles and says, I apologise if I startled you, as I do have this nasty habit of not being noticed by people unless I want to be. So as we do not have much time, allow me to talk, as I can only hold you in here for a short term, so I cannot answer any questions. At the moment you're being held bounced around realities by an entity called Tanath Hususu, who's currently in part scattered in various realities. They are doing this to you because to stop you from putting themselves together again. They're using the reality machine in one reality to allow her to bring herself together, regardless of the fact it could destroy everything she has. Everything that she has fractured. She's fracturing everything. We managed to give you the box, which is the self-destruction mechanism for the reality machine. So at the moment we are trying to get the codes needed to you, but we are being hampered by the entity. So it is important you keep the box with you. At some point we'll give you a device to control the jumps between realities when the entity allows us to do so. My time is up here. I hope this is enough information for you. You need to go on less. You can go on now less ignorant of what is going on. I warn you that Tanith Hosusu will try to stop you at every opportunity. You blink and he's gone.
Right. So the box is the self-destruction mechanism. The device has a code to destroy it.
She's trying to pull herself back together from one of the reality machines, but that's going to destroy everything.
And a voice from nearby goes, "Ah, you thought you could hide from me." And there is an old man with green eyes. He's sort of...
Oh, that was just me thinking aloud. That wasn't me saying it in game. Sorry.
Yeah, you hear a voice. "I know where you are all the time, so you cannot escape me. You will not stop my plans to reunite. And once I do, I will deal with you. I'll deal with you then properly. Now I will make it sure you do not succeed." And at that point, everything was... You feel the wave again. And you wake up. Well, right.
Where are we?
Okay. Well, actually, it doesn't matter if you hear each other's, but it won't matter a lot. It won't spoil it. Let me do so. It's like, and it's... I just need to put a day down. Right. You, Professor, was it Dalton, wake up in your... what you think is your apartment. To someone knocking on your door.
Where am I? Am I in my bedroom? Am I in the...
You're in your bedroom. It looks like it's your bedroom.
Okay. Does it look late or early by the
it looks
sun
early.
Coming through the windows? Oh, okay.
It looks early.
Yeah, Professor Dalton stumbles out of bed, grabs his dressing gown off the back of the door, and then sort of walks his way towards the door.
Yeah.
And opens it.
You walk across your apartment. It looks slightly different to yours. Above the... was it basically pictures of various, was it... you would have thought of very, was it stylistic pictures, much like the communist sort of thing. And there's a big picture of a gentleman in a brown uniform, which you don't recognise.
Is it a picture or is it a...
It's a picture. Above the mantelpiece.
Right. It's not a photograph?
No, it's a picture.
Okay.
And he's sort of wearing that... You've seen the symbol before. You know, the SS... Not the SS symbol. The strange Nazi symbol.
Okay.
Yeah, and this door is still knocking.
Yeah, Professor Dalton will realise that he's not in his own time. And if there's like one of those Yale slide
there is,
yeah. Door chains, basically.
Yeah.
He's going to pop the door chain on before he opens it.
Yep. And you see two familiar figures outside. Well, they would be familiar, as in your two Russian friends, except they're both dressed in SS uniforms. as in rifleman,
Right.
or was it with rank? They have ranks on them, and he said,
Okay.
the smaller one of which you would know as Dimitri says, "Sir, sorry to disturb you, but we have been summoned by the SS Overburst Gruppenführer to the SS Sonderprojekt Forschung Labor for a demonstration of the reality machine. The SS Overburst Gruppenführer basically what what's that? I can't read my own writing. For some, apologises for summoning you on your day off, but he would like you to attend the demonstration. We'll wait here for you in the car until you're ready." And he sort of clips his feet and does a sort of Nazi salute, so it was Heil Hitler, and then just walks off. Or Heil Führer.
Great. Shit. Right. Professor Dalton closes the door and locks it.
Mm-hmm.
He then goes by Mr. Kovac's room and knocks on the door. Are you awake?
He isn't there.
If I open the door,
It's just...
is there any sign of him?
Nope.
Shit.
Your stuff's by the bed. All the stuff you were carrying. Including the box.
Okay. Oh, I've got the box.
Oh, who
Oh,
was...
I thought Mr. I thought
if
Mr.
Mr.
Kovac
Kovac's
had
got
it.
it. Mr.
Yeah, I
Kovac's.
think I had the box. It was in a
that's
bag.
fine.
Things.
Yeah.
All your stuff's there by the bed, all the clothes you were wearing.
Of the two of us, Mr. Kovacs can handle himself much better than the professor.
Yep. Are you getting dressed? Are you getting dressed in uniform, or are you getting dressed in your civvies?
I'm going to put my civvies in a holdall.
Yeah.
Along with my other stuff.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to... Can I go through the wardrobes?
Yeah.
What's in there?
You'll find there are the uniforms there with... There is a standard, what you think was a standard SS uniform. And it has... Basically the symbol... It basically is an SS uniform. With a very unusual, insignia on it.
Professor Dalton sort of chunters to himself as he puts this on, because he's really not happy. He's just like... Yeah, he's not happy about having to dress up as a Nazi.
Yep.
So yeah, he...
Down to the boots and the a gun if you want it.
Yeah, I'll take that if it's part of the uniform.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will leave you at that point going out to the car.
And he does his hair in that sort of typical 1940s type way where it's just slicked back and under the hat.
Yes, you're going to be a bit shocked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you were proper, and you go out towards the car. Now, we'll go back to, Mr. Kovac. Mr. Kovac, you wake up in a very unfamiliar room. It looks like a typical military barracks. Bed, desk, chair, picture of a gentleman in a brown uniform with that strange, Nazi thing on there. Your stuff's is around you. And there's a knock on the door and a gentleman walks in and goes towards the windows, and this guy's in full SS uniform, goes to the window and throws the curtains open, and he says, "Good morning, Major. Sorry to disturb you, but you have the meeting with the SS Overgroup von Friesenhausen in the main building, in conference room 24. I'll be back in 10 minutes with your breakfast, after which I would make your way to the conference, as the SS Gruppenführer is not a patient man." And he walks out. Like, so you again will find all your stuff around you. Are you going to dress in your civvies, or are you going to dress in uniform?
To a conference, I probably should dress in uniform.
And where are you putting all your other stuff?
Do I have like some sort of like briefcase, like one of those like weird bag briefcase that like they always have, or something along those lines? Just some sort of 1940s carry bag.
There are, was it kit bags in there? You've got a kit bag, a small kit bag you could use.
Oh, I know what you mean. Those sort of semi-triangular shaped cases with a clasp on them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you want one, you'll find one.
Yeah, I will. I'll get into uniform.
Yeah.
Because when in Rome.
Your uniform is actually standard German. Would be standard German World War II uniform. How much does your character actually know about German military uniforms?
Probably not too much. Just probably general knowledge.
Well, no, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
The only thing you would probably know is your standard army uniform. You're not SS. As in, and you think from the little knowledge you know, was it you? Yeah, you've got the signet of a major, but the colour around the badge or around the thing is not red, so you're not headquarters. It's a different colour. I think it's a light blue or something like that.
All right.
After 10 minutes, there's a knock on the door, and the guy comes in with your breakfast, which is it's a nice pot of coffee. Was it bread, meats? The usual was it sort of fare of what Germans like in the morning, and plonks it down and said, "Your breakfast, sir."
Thank you very much.
I'll collect it after you're finished. And he sort of says, as it does a salute, says, "Heil Führer," and sort of.
Okay.
Do you do it back to him?
I feel like I should, so I do.
Yep. He sort of as it turns and goes out and closes the door. And it's actually a very nice breakfast.
All right. I'm content with this. Not being in the Nazi part, but the breakfast. At least there's a positive side.
At least you got breakfast. Professor Dalton had toast on his way out, probably.
Oh yeah.
In your mouth as you're going down the stairs.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, as you're going down the stairs, right, we'll go back to Professor Dalton. Now, the one thing you also notice, you have no dog. And you don't have any other guests, there's only you in the apartment.
Is there any sign of Imogen?
Nope.
If I check the drawers and stuff? Right,
nope.
Okay. That's good.
There seems to be various, pictures of yourself around digs. You in England in civvies, and then...
Is there any sign of any pictures of the dog?
Nope, no dog. Most of your pictures and books will be to do with digs and papers seem to be digs you're on. A lot of them will do with ones based in. You seem to be based in Berlin rather than London. And you seem to be
already been to Berlin.
And you also seem to have be a prominent member of the party.
Ooh, that's bad. Just really quickly before I go, can I check all the places in the apartment where I would hide stuff?
There are no places where you would hide stuff. They're not there.
Okay. So he checks the random places where he would hide things that were important, and there's nothing there.
There isn't nothing there.
Okay. If I had more time, I'd totally roll this apartment and check it for stuff. So I want to know what the other professor's like.
Yep. Are you going to go down to the car?
Can I just have one quick rifle through the study and see if there's like a personal diary or something?
Do you normally... No, there isn't a personal diary. I don't think you normally write one, do you?
No.
No, there isn't one. There is a diary of sorts with times and meetings. Most of them at this it seems to be in English, SS Special Projects thing on Al
I will
Majara.
take that and shove it in my holdall.
Yeah.
Partly as an experiment, but yes, we'll see.
Make a note of it. Yep, and you sort of go down. The apartment looks much the same. You go down. There's a very big, black car waiting out there. With the two, so-called Russian friends who, as soon as they see you, they stop lounging and stand to attention. And one opens the door for you.
Swiftly as you can, gentlemen.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and the guy's still big, and he still has a big knife in his belt. And they close the door after you, go in the front, and you're driven off into Al Majara. It's like you saw it before. It's a little more grim than before, less traffic. People are walking around with their heads bowed down as if they're not looking. And there seems to be any Peace Force officers. They seem to be a lot more heavily armed, actually armoured, as in they're carrying full flat jackets. Yeah. Full helmets. As in they're very heavily armed. And you see, basically their patrol cars tend to be a bit more, a bit more substantial.
Okay. More like little tanks.
More like armoured.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there is very little traffic on there, and people...
Like Gruber's little tank in LOLO.
Yeah, and as you're looking out of the window, you hear a thud above you.
Is it a helicopter?
It is, a big Chinook.
Is it following us?
No, it's going across your path. It looks a bit worse for wear, and carries UN symbols on it.
Okay.
And it looks as if it's been through a storm.
Okay.
Okay. And you basically get driven to where you would recognise the place in so much that where you went to meet Mr. Vogel, Dr. Vogel, the first time. You go in that same sort of area. Except what you come onto is
a house that's
yeah,
out in the middle of nowhere, sort of.
But you were actually going towards a walled compound.
Okay.
Full of basically it has guard posts, tanks, all with their standard SS markings. They're not standard army tanks.
Okay. And
you get waved through the gate.
Okay.
And the area is basically, there are loads of buildings everywhere. There's a big building in the centre. There seems to be an office block, which is where you're heading to, and there's where you think other blocks of buildings around. There seems to be barracks, lots of very heavily armed troops running around, all in SS uniform and carrying guns, which tend to look actually remarkably modern, not what you would think as in 1940s.
Okay.
And yeah, and we'll leave you at that point.
Okay.
Actually, no, yeah, no, actually we won't, because you get to the office building. You basically, the doors opened, and the guy say, "Please follow us, sir."
Yeah, I nod and let them lead the way.
Yeah, and they lead you to a conference room. Was this conference room 24?
Okay.
And they'll say there, and there is a breakfast waiting inside for you. And the short guy will say, They'll be with you in about 20 minutes, sir. And they sort of go and say, Heil Führer, and sort of leave you to it. And it's, again, a nice breakfast.
Okay.
And in the meanwhile, you have Mr. Kovac finishes his breakfast. Now you have the fun of finding where conference room 24 is.
Okay, so I'm going to put the infernal device, which is already, it's in its box.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that in whatever carrying case I have, whatever bag I have.
Yeah.
And I assume there's some sheets on the bed.
Yeah.
I'll take like one of the sheets and just like throw it in the bag and kind of put it over it.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to, I kept a bit of the German currency on me, so I will keep that.
Yes.
And the identification papers.
Yep.
And that's all I have. Is the person they said they were going to clean up after me, are they outside the room? Or are they just not
About after 10 minutes he'll reappear back. And politely knock on the door.
Then I would be late for the meeting.
Oh, it was. Ah, you're still here, sir. Are you having problems finding where you need to go, sir?
Yes. I'm sorry. You know, I get turned.
No, it's perfectly understandable, sir. Follow me, I'll show you.
Oh, thank you very much.
He does. And he basically... He's not surprised by that. He basically takes you out. You come out a set of barracks. Again, you see the same thing. You're in a very heavily, fortified, you would think fortified compound. There's a big building in the centre. There's an office block and there's a number of other buildings. Scattered all around you would have very heavily armed SS troops. Again, with your nature, these guys are carrying extremely modern weapons. They do not look like 1940s weapons. Again, some of these guys are also wearing flat jackets. Which tend to look modern. There's tanks all sporting the SS logo down to the death heads. Some of them. And you walk across, and as you go past, people go sort of salute you as you walk across there, and the guy will take you to the conference room, and you'll arrive after you'll arrive to find that Professor Dalton in full uniform is sitting finishing off his breakfast. Like yourself, there's a nice smell of coffee, and you're back with him. And the guy goes, "There you are, sir. I'll tidy your room whenever you're ready.
Thank you very much.
I'll be at your service." He sort of clicks his feet, nods his, and knows it, disappears and closes the door. So you're both sitting in this room. What do you want to do?
Dalton isn't entirely sure if this is the Mr. Kovac, so he's just going to ask him, what's my dog called?
You have a dog?
He does have a dog, you did see it, to be fair.
I do. I honestly don't remember the name, though, so I'm just going to say that Mr. Kovac doesn't remember either.
Well, just describe it or something. He's just checking that you're the Mr. Kovac so that he knows, not the one from this twisted reality, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, I'll be like... I'm just going to be silent for a bit, just kind of brainstorm, and then I'll be like, was it Bernard?
No.
I forgot every single...
I know.
I've forgotten myself what it was called.
Well, the point is, you didn't give the totally incorrect answer, which is, Professor Dalton, you don't have a dog.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. No wonder you can't remember the name of the dog. I've just seen it. Yeah, after about 20...
Yes, his name is Eos, if you need to know. It's E-O-S.
E-O-S.
And that's his dog. And it's a little sort of Jack Russell-y terrier type thing.
Yeah, I remember. It was a Jack Russell, yeah.
He takes him for a walk. That's the one. Yeah, and about after if you after 20 minutes, the
Can I check the diary that I stole? Well, I don't know whether I did steal it because technically it's mine. What's the date?
The diary is for 2020.
Oh, okay.
And it's a SS diary. And in celebration of the 1,000-year Reich, or the Das, I can't pronounce it, the 1,000-year Reich. And there's a picture of the same picture of the guy you saw on the wall. It says the Führer.
Do I recognise him? Or?
No, he's not Hitler.
Okay.
He's not Hitler.
Okay.
And and you look through, and you think the last entry.
You know how diaries have like a map? If you go right to the back of the diary, it has that page that has like a map on it.
Yeah.
Is there any changes?
Some fairly major ones. Most of Europe and Russia is not the 10,000, the Reich, or the 1,000-year Reich. UK is the United Kingdom.
Europe. Hang on, slow down. Is
most of North Africa
is what? Sorry.
Is the Reich protectorates, all the way from Egypt down to Tunisia to Morocco.
Wow.
If you look at the other side, there's America, Canada, of which part of Canada is Quebec is a separate state.
Oh, okay.
You've got Mexico, you've got South America, you've got various states there, as in Argentina's not a lot different there.
Okay.
If you go to the far east, you've got Japanese Empire, which is most of Japan, Korea, and half of China, and most of the Philippines.
Empire. That's Japan.
You've got what's left is what's called
Philippines. Did you say?
Philippines. You've got Australia. You've got New Zealand as separate states. You've got Malaysia. You've got Burma. You've got India, and what was Russia is just as much like modern Russia. It's a series of small states.
Okay. So it's been split from the whole.
Yeah, and it doesn't include a lot of what would have been Moscow region. Most of it would be in the Far East and Siberia.
Oh, like they've pulled back. Okay.
Yeah. So they're around Kazakhstan and those sort of places. So the world looks a little different.
Yeah, Professor Dalton will share this with Mr. Kovac.
It's a lot different than what it was. The diary is actually written in both English and German.
Professor Dalton doesn't speak German or read it either. Is it my handwriting?
The printed writing's in both English and German. Most of your handwriting is in English.
Okay.
And the last entries was today, and tomorrow, which were supposed to be days off.
Okay. Going forward, is there anything?
No, nothing was it. Nothing was it at the moment. It seems to be a little blank.
Okay. Well, the world has certainly changed.
and it's the date. The last entry is Tuesday, the 4th of August, 2020.
And that's today.
You don't know. It's either because today, the 3rd and 4th.
I would assume that it would be the first day off.
Yeah, you've got 2 days off in a row, so would be the Monday.
Okay. Does that mean Monday the 3rd?
Yep. And after 20 minutes of you looking through this, a gentleman walks in. You remember the gentleman you met at the Beyond Humanity LLC? The big German gentleman that called himself, was it von Falkenhausen? Brother of, was it Ernst Professor Falkenhausen? The one you met and shook his hands to. For Mr. Kovac, you've never seen this gentleman before. It's a big gentleman, and this guy is in full SS uniform down to the gold braid, as in he's very high ranking.
Okay.
Yeah, you've already met him doing that, and he sort of said, "You stand up as he walks in."
Yes.
Yeah, I stand up and do whatever the standard greeting is.
It says, sort of half-hearted, "Please sit, gentlemen." Good morning. Yeah. Good morning, SS Sturmbannführer Dalton and Major Kovac. Glad you could make this meeting. I'll be quick, as afterwards we will be attending a demonstration of a Die Realitäten machine in the main hall. I basically wanted a quick word with you, Major Kovac, as I gather some of the personnel here have not entirely been cooperative with your investigations. So in effect, to make things easier for you, I am assigning, was it SS Sturmbannführer Dalton, to help you in your investigations, as he has both rank and clearance needed by yourself to get to, was it progress with your, was it with your investigations. It seems the Führer wants this investigation finished particularly quickly, because he does not want the publicity of such an investigation would, was it cause for this, was it facility. Now I've said my piece, will you join me in the main hall of the facility for the demonstration? He stands up and he's sort of, please follow me, sir, gentlemen.
Would be delighted. And I will stand up. I will make sure that I grab my bag.
Yeah, do you do the same, Mr. Kovac? Major Kovac? Yep, and he walks out, he's ahead of you, and you're expected to follow him.
Is he like a ways ahead of us?
No, he expects you to follow him at a fairly close distance.
Okay.
And as you go out, you go back into the compound, and strangely, you go towards the big building in the middle, and I mean it's big. And you go into, basically you go in a big building through a side door, and the whole area inside is a big empty space, in the middle of which there is a large machine which consists of rings of metal with cogs on. You ever seen the 13 Ghosts sort of machine? You know, the big machine they had on there with all the cogs. It looks remarkably like that, as if they all spin on each other with cogs. And in front of it there is I think it's a platform. And there's in front of that there's a control panel. And there's a whole series of basically boxes, as in, like a computer, like computer boxes, which at the moment are all open. And as you go in, he looks at you, Mr. Kovac, and said, "This is Major Kovac, the Die Realitäten machine, the current gem of the SS Abteilung Spunder project." Or Project Genus. It is the brainchild of one project director, Ernst von Falkenhausen, with the help of SS Lieber Wissenschaftler Hirsch.
It's
He
a
looks
dude like beauty.
It's a long word. It means senior technician.
Okay.
But he will use the German, but it means project leader and senior technician. And the name
And that's Ernst von Falkenhausen.
Yes. And the other one is Hirsch. Hurch.
Have we heard of this person previously at the university?
No, you haven't. And as you look around, the various boxes are open. There are various people, sort of in white uniforms, running around, seem to be doing maintenance on the machine, as in all the cabinets are open. And do you follow the general and walk forward?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Professor Dalton will try and sort of get a look at the inside of it if he can as he goes past. Discreetly, but trying to get
strangely, it's going to be a bit odd. You know the symbol you've got on your shoulder, on your uniform, Professor Dalton?
Yeah.
That's actually also on each of the technicians. And funny enough, on the general himself.
This is like some sort of secret division or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, not so secret. It's a bit difficult to keep secret.
Special division.
Secret division in inverted commas in our secret lair that is in a secret facility. Yes.
And on an island which most people actually don't know about.
Yes.
You didn't find an island on the map again. And as you go forward, you see there are two. Was it you would think prisoners in the usual? Was it striped? Slightly emaciated in the stripe, was it the uniforms of what you would look like a concentration camp, sort of, was it individuals with numbers on their was it on a badge on their chest with 4 was it SS men, was it sort of round them, and as you walk you recognise Professor Dalton as Professor Ernest von Falkenhausen will approach you. And approach a general, and he will start to say something, and the general will say, please wait, I will listen to you after you have done the introductions for Major Kovac. Assemble your team, please. The professor looks slightly perturbed. He looks much like he would, but he's got a white coat with a suit underneath. And he sort of stops and then sort of nods, and he wanders off, and he sort of assembles about 4 or 5 people, and then he goes down.
The prisoners, are they people we recognise?
No.
Do any of them have green eyes?
No.
Good check.
Yep, right. He goes down the things, and he starts and introduces himself. I am Project Director von Falkenhausen. This is SS Schelvert Rottender Project Bonneville, SS Oberbannführer Vogel, and finally SS the Senior Technician Hirsch, H-U-S-C-H, Hirsch. She actually does have green eyes.
Are they very green?
Yes.
Oh, God damn it.
Yep.
What is it? H-U-R-S-C-H. Okay.
S-C-H, yep. You recognise Mr. Vonnebill as Professor Vonnebill, and you recognise Vogel as Dr. Vogel.
Yeah.
And as you're looking around the machines, you're now in a point to actually see the machines. The machines seem to be of circuit boards, and strangely, much like the Infernal Machine, you notice there are symbols on the frames which look extremely familiar. They do look out of place, in so much you've got this modern machinery, with still the symbols on the frame. And if you look at the rings, one of the covers on the rings has been taken off, and the rings are absolutely covered in the symbols. And after a few minutes, yeah, and with the senior technician, she looks strangely familiar. Reminds you of someone in the club.
Yeah, I thought she might.
Yeah, but after a while, after the introductions, was it the general goes, so director, what is the problem you want to talk about this time? And he sort of motions for you lot to follow as he motions for his team to go back, and he takes you to one of the open cabinets, and there seems to be a missing component. 3 cables coming up. The component looks remarkably like the size of a box you've got nearby. And basically the conversation goes between the brothers that someone has taken the self-destruct mechanism, of which the general said, does it stop it working? No. So there's no reason for you to stop the demonstration. No, there isn't. So let's get on with it. Basically. And basically, so they start to close all the cabinets quickly after doing the bits and pieces. The guys in the uniforms are pushed forward and put onto the pedestal. And things start to spin. As in the machine, the director starts with his assistant, Mr. Vonderville, or the assistant director starts to work on the keyboards in front of the machine. And as the machine starts to spin up, and it starts to spin faster, you get this feeling as it spins faster that your perceptions start to, lengthen. They start to twist a bit. You know, it feels like as if you're standing with something that's almost pulling reality apart, sort of thing. The rooms start to look strange, and as it goes faster, there's a light that actually appears in the middle of the machine, and it gets faster and faster, and at some point there's a light that jumps out to where the 2 men are. There's a sort of a flash in on the platform, and all that's left are 2 smoking shoes and a lot of ash, and one very disappointed director who's saying, God damn it, oh Gott im Himmel, still the same issues. Mr. Bonneville, work out with your team what went wrong. Something was wrong. Your calculations didn't work. Get back to it. And he sort of goes to the general and says, sorry about that. He said. The general goes, yep, these things happen, sort of thing. And as he's talking, someone walks in and sort of walks up to another rifleman, walks up to the general, has a little word in his ear, and he sort of shoos away the director. Sort it out. Major Kovac, would you just come here, please?
Yeah, I go over.
It seems, Major Kovac, there has been another murder in the facility. Please follow the SS rifleman. He will show you the scene of the murder. SS Sturmbannführer Dalton, please will you accompany the Major? Once you've finished investigating the scene, you'll and find anything interesting, please inform me. I will go to the murder as it has recently happened.
Okay.
And the rifleman will go, sir, follow me. Right, he leads you back to the...
Whilst that demonstration was going on, Professor Dalton will have been watching Hurst. What was she doing?
Yeah, I was actually thinking the same thing.
She was actually doing what she was helping. She was doing what she's supposed to be doing, sort of flitting was it from the control thing and going to the various people. If anything, when you watch at the end, she looked very disappointed and annoyed.
Okay.
And sort of looks in your direction. And sort of was it
What, in Professor Dalton's direction?
in both of your directions. Eyes sort of not squint, you know, as she's staring at you, as if she's trying
Professor
to
Dalton just smiles and winks at her and then just carries on watching the demonstration.
Yeah. And she will watch you walk out if you feel as if yeah. Yep, you're actually taken back to the office building again, and you basically taken to a office which is marked, I think, on the 3rd floor, marked R303. R3101, and there's a guard outside. Major, the murder is in there. It was found by a cleaner this morning, sir.
Thank you.
No
What
problem.
time?
About half an hour ago, sir. We'll stay out here, sir. If you need us, just call us.
Thank you, soldier. Yeah, head in.
Right. It's a fairly nondescript office. Doesn't look as if it's been in use, so it has a desk, filing cabinets, bookshelf, phone. There's in the middle of the floor, there is a body of another soldier lying on the floor, and there is a pool of blood around their head, as if they've been hit by something. And if you look carefully, one finger is pointing to a bit of paper on the floor.
I'll inspect the floor around where the floor around where the paper is.
Have we got our phones on us?
Hmm?
Do we have our phones?
As in the phones you would have had. Oh!
Yeah.
If you switch them on, they're not working.
No, I was thinking if we could use the camera, but never mind.
Oh yeah, no, that will be. No, as in you can't, there is no signal, but the phones will work on them.
I left my phone back in the barracks, so...
yeah.
If you want to...
Yeah, I'm just going to take pictures before we move anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing else in the room you can see. Just other than the fact that this guy was hit by something. There's no footprints, there's nothing other than the fact there's this guy in the middle of the floor pointing at a bit of paper.
Okay, I will gingerly pick up the piece of paper.
You got to show it to everybody.
Well, is it just me and Dalton in the room?
Yeah.
Yeah, then I'm not really making much of an attempt to hide it.
Right, I've got to find which one it is. Let me have a look.
Can Professor Dalton ask the guard outside whose office this is?
It isn't anybody's at the moment. It wasn't in use.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
No problem. Right, I'll put this into the role play, and if I've done this right, it will be first file on the list, and it is. Hey, that's it. That's the paper. What else are you going to do? Ooh.
Which channel's that gone in, sorry?
Got it. Into the log.
look.
Yeah, I hadn't hit the return button.
That's okay.
I keep forgetting.
Ooh.
And that should have 2 sets of numbers on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go away. Oh, I don't want that.
Professor Dalton hastily deletes those pictures he took a moment ago.
Yep. Right, that goes there, and that goes there. Yep, so that was what he was pointing at.
Okay. Hmm.
Are you going to do anything else? Are you going to inspect the body or the desk?
Yeah. Is there blood? So the blood is coming from the head, right?
Yep.
Is there anything around the office that also has blood on it that looked like it could be the where?
No.
Okay, so no. Okay, so nothing that he hit his head on. Okay, is he lying face up?
He's lying face down.
Face down.
It looks like he's been hit from behind.
Okay, so is his? Okay, I'm gonna get. Is it? Does it look like it's been caved in significantly?
Yes. Slightly.
So like,
It would be
just like.
classified as as blunt force trauma. Back of his head is a bloody mess.
All right.
How tall is this bloke?
About 5'10".
Is the... What I'm trying to get at is, could it, given the height of Hersher, is it possible that she could have done it, or is the angle too wrong?
She would have been shorter than him. It's sort of...
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Basically, whoever hit him from the top of the head. And he sort of collapsed
So it's somebody tall then.
Yeah.
Well, also we have to keep in mind that it does not seem like she sticks to one form all the time. Since we did see her. As
Oh yeah, good point.
Um,
Very good point.
Seems like she does prefer a specific form though, since she looks similar to how we saw her before. She did, from the research, she did seem to have an ego, so I'm not surprised that she likes a similar look.
There is one look, just one thing that is common with all those. The green eyes.
Yes.
I wonder if she can't change that.
It could be that she can't change it, or a sense of pride potentially in her eyes. But
Yeah.
that it's probably just a sign that she can't do anything about. Yeah, I'll turn over the body.
Yeah.
I can see the face.
He just looks like a typical, was it European?
Okay.
No one we know?
No.
Let's just see if
In a typical, similar uniform to the guys outside, he seems to have a rank.
Okay.
Is he fairly junior?
He is a very junior rank.
I have a feeling this is effectively a message being delivered by tying a note round a brick.
Yeah, that's one way of going about it. I don't think it's the best way, but
I don't either. But
Are you going to search him, or are you just going to leave him there?
yeah, I'll search him, go through, see if he has anything on him. I'm not sure I'm gonna really get much from figuring out the specifics of this murder, but I might as well try.
No.
And get as much
First thing
from it.
you notice, the gun he's got is a Glock 17. As in, it's with all the other weapons you've seen, it's out of place, and if you compare it to the gun you've got, it's out of place. It would be something you would have seen in your own there. He has ID, and I'll show you under the name of. This. Bear with me while I write this down. And it looks completely different to yours.
Oh, that's not good.
Mm-hmm. It looks similar, but it's a lot more modern. You would think it's.
Keep it.
Yeah, definitely keep it.
Yeah.
Dalton speaks in a very quiet tone. He says the longer they take to solve this, the more distracted they'll be.
Right.
What did you say?
He will whisper this really low to you so that only you can hear it. But he will say that the longer that they have to take to solve this, the more distracted they will be.
That is true. And I'll keep to a low voice as well. I'm thinking maybe we can go back to my room in the barracks, and there might be potentially more information if I have some sort of a dossier of all the information from the cases, since this is definitely
we can get all the paperwork and take it to the apartment, because then at least we're out of this very, very well guarded facility.
I would like to potentially go back to the engine before we leave, though. I have a few questions I want to see if I can ask the engineer, the main engineer that we were talking about. Not the green eyes, the one we were talking to. I want to ask a few questions.
I mean, the thing is, I wouldn't trust any of them.
Well, it's nothing like that. It's a bit more technical.
That's his ID.
Okay.
SS Rottenführer of the 42nd Panzer Division, the new Cleans Loose Euroreich 2. It should be English Regiment 5. And he has an envelope.
An envelope?
Oh, yes.
Oh, what's in there?
Oh,
is there, what's the,
You going to open the envelope? I'll put it
Is there any address or anything on the envelope, like a sender?
No.
Okay,
It just has one piece of bit of paper in it.
Okay.
Yep. There you are.
Oh, thank you.
And that's what it says. It says once the handover is done to the targets, go to, was it 11 Troll Road, and not one of the. You know this fairly well. It's one of the less. Was it how do you say?
Nice.
Areas. Yes, it's one of the last areas where you've been before you found the strange museum and the church.
Yeah.
If I remember rightly.
Well, I guess this gives us a start.
Professor Dalton will whisper again. I think this is our way out.
Maybe. I wouldn't. I'm simply confused if this potentially has a connection to what's already happened. Because they said there's a transfer to the targets. Potentially.
Oh, targets with an S.
Smuggled out the self-destruct, which then brought it to us. In some shape or way. I don't know.
Shall we discuss this at the flat?
Yeah, maybe. So that's all. That's here.
Yeah, the gentleman's still waiting outside.
All right.
Is it, sir?
Professor Dalton, just before he opens the door, will say, "Well, Mr. Major Kovacs, unfortunately, it seems like there's rather little to go on." And then opens the door, as if so they hear it through the door.
Yeah. And there you go, yeah. Sir?
Yes. It's unfortunate. There's not much here.
What do you want us to do with the body, sir?
So send him to the mortuary.
Mm-hmm. There's not much we can find here, so it can be cleaned up.
So somebody will have to try and identify this gentleman. Unfortunately, he didn't have any documentation.
Okay, sir. We'll get that done straight away. I'll send you a message once it's been done, sir. He's sort of companion, and he sort of, as it says, we'll get that sorted straight away, sir. And he sort of briskly marks, or as it walks off near the guard, just stands outside the door.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Where are you going now?
Should we go to barracks? Just see
you wanted to go and collect your things, didn't you? So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can collect my things, but also see if there's maybe some.
Oh, we can consult your files as well. Yeah.
Exactly. If there's something there, it might have more information.
Yeah.
And so I will attempt to retrace my steps to get back to my barracks.
Yeah. Yeah. As you look through your paperwork, you will find there are notes there to do with a double murder day before in the main building, as in where the machine is.
Oh, okay.
But you only saw the bodies and not in situ.
Yeah, because I didn't have clearance in there yet.
And again, these ones have been shot.
Oh, okay. So this is...
And it wasn't by the SS guards.
Okay.
Yep, and so you're going to leave. You'll find your car still waiting out there with two very bored, Russian gentlemen. Which Mr. Kovac will recognise as the two gentlemen who gave him a hard time about a dinosaur. But they're both dressed in SS uniforms, and as soon as they see you, they go...
Gentlemen, slovenly!
Oh, they stood up as soon as they saw you.
Yeah. Okay.
Sir? What can we do for you, sir?
Back to my apartment as swiftly as you can.
Okay, sir. Do you want those bags in the boot, sir?
Mr. Kovacs, Major Kovacs and I will take them in the car with us, thank you.
No problem, sir. They open the door.
Sorry, was there something else you wanted to do here, Mr. Kovacs?
We can do it later, it's alright. I'll explain it to you on the way. Well, actually, when we get to the apartment.
Oh no, we wanted to go and have a look at the machine, didn't we?
If you want to do that now, we can, but we can also...
I think we should, probably.
Okay.
Can we retcon that? Pretend that we didn't go out
We'll be
to
waiting
the car.
for you. They'll close the door.
It's just be ready to leave, I guess.
Yes, we've left something in the lab.
No problem, sir. We'll be waiting.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright. As we walk there, so, what I'm thinking is you're giving me access to this area because it is needed, I'm seeing, and we can potentially use this to get information that could help us, because they made a point of the fact that the self-destruct part was gone. So maybe we could ask them about that, learn how to use the self-destruct as information for our investigation. Not because we want to self-destruct it, just, it's important.
Mm-hmm.
If you are confident that you can extract that sort of information, yes.
Well, it's all a matter of how much your rank gets us, pretty much.
Do you know what I'd be really interested to see? Their calculations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well,
If they would give me access, I could potentially make their problems a little bit worse.
Sabotage.
As you get to the building, the guy opens the door, soldier up there opens the door for you, says, Heil Führer.
Heil Führer.
And then he closes the door smartly afterwards. You're back into the same vacuous thing. The cabinets are now open, and the technicians are now pulling boards out, checking them. The professor is sort of at the control panel with a clipboard, sort of working on something. Mr. Vonnevill is sort of, or the assistant director is sort of doing there with the assistant technician are sort of busy, supervising the various boards and what's going on around there. And they seem to not be taking much notice of you.
Who's the one who's in charge? Is it Falkenhausen?
It was the director.
Okay.
I think it might be best for you to ask him. I'm not sure I would keep my head.
Where's Hirsch?
She's with Bonneville, watching them. Was it checking the circuit boards? So she's actually busy.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm gonna try and sort of get to speak to von Falkenhausen.
Yeah.
Without alerting her that I'm here, if possible. So if she's really busy, then he's going to deliberately sort of skirt round the other side of the room.
Yep.
So that she stays focused on the circuit boards, etc.
Mhm. Yeah, you can easily.
Is she anywhere near the mechanism for the self-destruct, or is she on the other side of the room?
She will be fairly near it.
Oh right, okay.
Well, we don't have to get close to it. We just need to talk about it.
There's also an advantage. As soon as you go around, but you'd have to skirt round. You'll be in front of the podium, and the director will look up. Was it Major? Was it Kovac and Sturmbannführer Dalton? Glad to see you again.
We're all scientists here. You can call me Professor Dalton if you wish.
It would be easier. But I always thought you were an archaeologist.
Funny.
Anyway, what can I do for you?
We just prefer getting our hands dirty.
I have heard, was Professor Dalton? Your exploits are, for the fatherland, are well renowned.
Oh. I appreciate your thoughts.
What can I do for you?
Well, Major Kovacs and I have returned. Sadly, there has been another incident in the main building.
Oh, another murder.
Yes, it's
not a good business. Sort of as it disrupts the demonstrations. We had to delay one for the murder 2 days ago. In this very room.
Oh, what, really?
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry that you're having to continue working in such a difficult environment.
Such as working for the fatherland and the Führer.
Indeed.
And my brother.
Yes, of course.
Would you like to go somewhere a bit more, how you say, quieter than this?
Oh, if you're not too busy, that would be.
No. I've got to go to the office anyway. I have a few few things to sort out.
Yes, yes, that would be ideal.
If
Thank you.
Just excuse me. Assistant Director, Bonneville, and Senior Technician, will you please, keep on? With your work? I'll be back after I've talked to these gentlemen. And he sort of says, follow.
So Dalton deliberately takes a quick look at her face. Does she look surprised?
No.
Any expression of any kind?
She's sort of dismissive. Oh. Yeah, and...
Oh, Professor Dalton just smiles and winks at her again and then walks out.
Yes, flirt with the god of magic who... Please.
Yep, he takes you to, basically, to the other side from the door, leads you through a door to another, basically set of offices connected to here, and he goes to a nice, into one of the end office, which is a nice wooden office, with wooden walls, all that. And he sort of goes over, and he sort of pours out some, what you think was whiskey, and sort of hands it to you. We might as well have a little libation while we're having the discussion. Please sit.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, wouldn't be surprised you would come and talk about the murders. They seem to be connected to the disappearance of a certain component, as you might say.
Yes, we were worried about the possible connection to that. Do
Yes.
you know how exactly that could be operated in a way that could hurt the current ongoings of your project? Does it have to be operated from that room, or could it pose a threat?
No, as far as I know, it has to be connected to the machine as a whole.
Well,
And-
that's one blessing.
Indeed. Plus,
Is it?
Go on.
Oh, I was going to ask. Do you believe that it is sufficiently complex that it would take a specialist to harm the machine, or, God forbid, could it be operated by a layman?
Unfortunately not. And the only way to really destroy it totally would be to destroy all the circuit boards. But that would only delay it. They're only controlled ones. You'd have to destroy the machine itself.
Is that what the self-destruct box would do on its own, or
It
would
destroys the whole. It was something the Führer thought we had just in case the place got overrun by undesirable forces. America is how you say, undesirable.
Very wise insight.
Oh, forgive me. I think I phrased my question in a way that's been misunderstood. What I meant is the self-destruct mechanism that's gone missing itself.
Mm-hmm.
Could that be connected? Would that require some specialist knowledge to connect it, or could anyone do it?
Never enough
I'm trying to
anybody.
narrow down the suspect pool, if you understand my meaning.
Yeah, it actually was deliberately made simple, as in you just plug it in with the free connections, which are color coded, and then you just put in a 12-digit number.
Oh, right, okay.
And then you've got about 30, I think it was 3 minutes to evacuate.
Professor Dalton deliberately sort of takes off his hat and runs his fingers through his hair and tries to look worried.
As you said, it was only an additional thing which was added by the by the general, just in case it fell into the wrong hands.
So there's no key or anything, not physical key or.
No. To be
No.
truthful in matter, was I'm glad my brother said we could still continue without it. I wasn't totally happy with it being there. After all, it's all my work, and the last thing I want to do is destroy it.
Indeed.
Yes, we do have worries of a potential spy on the premises. Not completely founded yet, but there are traces from what we've seen and observed that could lead to someone who's infiltrated the infiltrated project, potentially even.
Indeed so, because the gentlemen were found in here may have had SS uniforms, but no one remembered them entering the building.
Yes, we're afraid they might have some method of disguising themselves, or maybe even just a good ability of stealth. But we wanted to make you known of this so you can be careful.
I believe
As very important, and we don't want it stopping by any means. So, well, you must trust your fellow scientists in this grand venture.
Of course.
Be cautious.
It is my life's work. The reality machine. Yep.
If you would treat what we've discussed
of course.
In the strictest confidence, and it must
My brother
not
has
be
told me. Indeed. And you were highly honoured, Major, to be even allowed, was it see Project Janus?
I'm very honoured for the ability to see it.
I would. The Führer and the head of the SS are very, how do you say, how do you put it? Careful who they get to see. It seems you're a very trusted person, Major.
I would like to think so.
Anyway, is that all we need to discuss? I need to get on with some work. I have some calculations to do. See if this time we can send someone without burning them up.
Please feel free to refuse this, but if there's anything I could do to assist you with.
Unfortunately, not, Professor. I think the mass would be beyond your capacity.
Yeah, quite possibly, but
I'll give you.
Always happy to help where I can.
When we need some more bits and pieces, I will not hesitate to ask you, as you've done before.
I look forward to hearing from you in the future.
Indeed so. I think if these murders don't stop, we'll see more of each other.
Well, I do hope that they do stop.
Indeed so.
Although it would be nice to catch up with you again, of course.
Of course, was it, Professor Dalton? He sort of puts his hand out to shake it.
Yeah, Professor Dalton will shake his hand.
And he does the same to you, to Major Kovac.
I'll give him a nice firm handshake back.
And good luck, Major, with your investigations.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Heil Führer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Heil, yeah. And he sort of gets down and sort of ignores you, and he's now pulled out a fold and is now looking through some what you think were calculations.
Did I see where he got those from?
From the desk, from the top drawer.
Okay. Top drawer on the right hand side.
Yes.
Okay.
So I've got a office. Yeah. Are you now going to go to your car and go to the address?
Hang on.
Oh, what's that? Oh, I know what that is. Oh dear.
What do you think we should do, Mister? As we're once we're out of the science room and
Across the...
sort of along corridors and things. What do you think we should do? Should we go to the apartment or should we go and follow the message?
Do we have much to do specifically at the apartment? Is there things we like? Is there much you want to get down and sort of process, or do you think everything could be covered in light conversation?
I mean, to be honest, we could probably cover it in light conversation, I think.
Yeah, maybe we go back to your place tonight and we can talk about this, but we could first go to this address that will maybe give us more information.
Yeah, okay.
As you're walking across the car park, you hear a familiar voice going, "Buckhurst, Buckhurst," around your feet.
Go away.
What? No Buckhurst? It's a little dog again.
No.
And he just wanders off, bloody Nazis.
Oh, I do like annoying that little dog in more than one reality.
It's right in the middle of a heavy duty, was it fortified area too?
It's just the trans-reality constant.
Yeah, you get all of a sudden those two guys lounging on the car are now standing there. One's now holding the door open and one's by the driver's thing. And they're sort of going, "Half viewer. Car's waiting. Are you going this time, sir?"
Indeed.
One note, as we're
Shall
like,
we?
walking,
Yeah. Shall we get them to drop us at the apartment and change cars?
Ooh, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, sure. So just one thing, as we're going from the office to like the parking lot and the car, I just kind of want to scan the area, just get kind of a feel for what's where, guard postings, just have an idea of
Basically, most
where everything is.
other than the main buildings, there's where you were, which was a set of barracks. Around the walls there are basically guards, and every few while there are machine gun nests, which point outwards. And there are tanks there in the compound, and there were tanks. There's about two entrances, one going towards what will be the town or the edge, and the other one on the other side, and those have fairly heavy duty gates, as in basically heavy duty mesh, tanks, guard posts, which seem to be anything that's coming in and out except yourselves is being stopped and passes are being checked.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, and there are lots of troops here. You would think there were at least 2 or 3 regiments.
But they're mostly on the perimeter and like the wall, making sure people don't get in though.
Yes, most of them are there. Mostly inside. Any personnel walking around in uniform tend to be not as armed. Tend to be carrying papers.
Okay, so generally they trust everyone inside. They're just trying to keep people out.
Yeah.
So it's a ring of steel, basically.
You are the only person in a army uniform in there. The rest are either in white coats or SS uniforms. With all the same insignia on them. Yep, and you get into the car and you basically are driven back to your apartment. And the door's opened. Do you need us any more today, sir?
No, enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you,
I'm
sir.
intending on having the rest of my day off.
See you on Wednesday, I believe, sir.
Hopefully, unless there's a crisis.
Indeed, sir.
Have a good couple of days off.
Yes, sir. And they sort of get into the car and off they go. Now you've got to find out if you have a car.
Well, I assume so.
If you go to your apartment, you will find a set of keys.
Oh, excellent.
And if you
shall we change out of these uniforms to start with?
Yes, potentially something more casual would be useful. Urban
Yeah.
camouflage.
especially where you're going.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we don't want to be all dressed up as officers to the low point.
Well, it's the roughest of the rough end of town, so nothing that stands out too much.
It is sort of, yes.
Yeah, well, I have a feeling those types of places generally don't like authority.
Well, you know the Edge. It's just a tiny weeny bit better than that, but not a lot.
Okay.
Most of it was ruins the last time you went there.
Yes. Oh, and yeah, you might want to keep an extra close eye on whatever you have on you, because it's full of pickpockets.
All right.
Ooh, I might actually have enough. Oh, excellent. Yep. So you change into your normal clothes, and yes, you find there's probably a Mercedes. Was it a German-made car? Quite nice.
Oh, it's bad. If we take that into the 4 points barrier, it's going to come out with no wheels.
That's the one.
Yeah, maybe not the best. How far are we from the area?
A good 3 or 4 kilometres. You would have to drive there.
Maybe we could drive partway.
You can drive to the edge of it.
Where we can hire a cheap car.
Well, we could probably get a taxi, somehow.
I mean, it's not my bloody car anyway, so...
Yep. Actually, this is true. It's not your car.
No, exactly.
Actually, you're just going to drive it.
Yeah, it isn't my car. I don't care.
Alright, we should
So
go.
Professor Dalton, just because he wants to mess with whomever lives in his apartment in this reality, is going to throw all the uniform into the wash basket and just leave a few things around the place to make it look like someone's been there.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we could go through the whole apartment. We could toss it.
But would there be any point in this other than upsetting your other half?
No, but it would be fun.
So you trash the apartment.
Shall we?
I mean, if what I think is happening, which is I think we're being pulled to various realities because our other selves are I think we're like being pulled to replace them.
Maybe.
I don't know
We
whether
could
that's
also
correct.
use this. We could say, you're on the investigation now, and someone's like messing with your stuff. I don't know how we could use that, but
It's disruptive, isn't it? Yes. You know how to make an apartment look like it's been searched.
usually I'm a bit more covert, but I can just throw that to the wind.
Just do a bad job.
Alright.
Just act like
Let's let loose.
do a typical was it Gestapo search. They're about as subtle as a brick. You basically trust the apartment, make it. So you basically leave clothes out of the drawers, papers on the floor, books out of the shelf, rifled through and just dropped on the floor.
If we find any documents that look important, we'll take them. Not because they'll be useful to us, but just to hide like the fact that we've taken the appointment diary and stuff like that.
Yeah, most of it. There are documents, and your counterpart can also certainly read German, lots of it in German. And some of your writing notes in there looks like you're writing, but it's in German.
Going through this, Professor Dalton will say, I don't write or speak German, so this will need translating.
I'm sure it won't be too hard to find someone.
If it's in Greek, I might have a chance.
Yeah, you find the usual sort of books, but they seem to be slightly different. They seem to be was it the Great Reichs? Was it seemed to be claiming they were the first ones to dig the tombs and research the Egyptian tombs. They were the ones to do the what's the stone?
Rosetta Stone?
Rosetta Stone. They're the first ones to translate it, etc., etc. We find various propaganda manuals, etc. on there. You find no ID.
Yeah,
You might find a passport, which is in German and in English and German.
That's useful.
It's also annoying.
Do you take your passport?
Is
Yes.
this the main purpose here? Just to piss this guy off?
Yes.
Alright, well, if that's the case, I'm going to do what I wanted to do before, but I couldn't trash it because it was a nice place. And I'm going to go into the bedroom, and I'm going to take one of the posts off the bed.
So when it lies in it, it collapses.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my butcher knife and just get one of the posts off the bed, and and just kind of try and shorten it a bit. And I won't sharpen it just yet because I don't think we'll beat vampires just yet. But I can do that on the way.
Oh God.
I need to be prepared. Anything could happen.
Oh yes,
But it's
because,
better with a fire
Is there a fire extinguisher here?
yes, I remember rightly. You had a slight issue with a certain gentleman. Yeah, you spend some time trashing the apartment, and about mid-afternoon you wander off to the car. The car seems to have its own set of plates, which includes an SS symbol.
Nice. Looks like we're not getting checkpointed. Shall we take all of our personal stuff with us, just in case this is an exit point?
I would.
Yeah. Take whatever. Assume we're going to be leaving this reality.
Yeah, I will have gotten my stuff when we left the barracks.
Yeah.
As I said before, you have to have everything on there, and you keep it. Were you keeping the? Did you pick the Glock 17 up?
Yes, I will be keeping that in one of my pockets.
Okay, so yeah, you drive out. Again, you were right. As you get up to checkpoints,
Can we leave the door ajar as well?
You can do.
I'm not even going to bother locking it.
Yeah.
Wait, is there like a thing on the keys, or is it just keys? Like, is there a little symbol on the keys, like a keychain?
On the car?
Well, on the keys to the car, like, is there?
Other than the Mercedes, no.
Okay.
Yeah, the car's actually quite new and hybrid.
Does it have that new car smell?
Yeah. And it's... Well, the dashboard looks slightly different, as it's got hybrid, electric, or it seems to have a button you can go between the two of them. You've never seen a car like this. Yep.
So it's got what? It's got electric or hybrid?
No, yeah, electric or hybrid.
Shove it onto hybrid.
Yeah.
And shall we see if we can get Group and Führer Dalton some speeding tickets as well?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, you can speed as much as you like. As soon as anybody follows you and sees your number plate, they sort of peel off.
Oh, come on, it's the one chance we're going to get to do this.
Yeah, the roads are actually quite quiet. At any checkpoints, as soon as they see your number plate, they sort of wave you through.
Yeah, Professor Dalton will start driving more sensibly once we get past like the tourist area, and head towards the 4 points barrier. He won't take a direct route. He will sort of throw some zigs and zags in there to make sure we're not being followed.
Yeah, you have to do that anyway, but some of the streets are blocked.
Yeah. Okay.
And you finally find yourself at a very familiar site. You remember that church you went to?
Oh yeah.
It's that church.
Ooh. That's interesting.
Mm. You know where 10123 was supposedly hiding?
Yes.
Not much the same.
Are there many people around?
Not anymore.
Oh, good.
For some reason, they take one look at your car, start wandering up, then notice the number plates and sort of wander off, making themselves very scarce.
Yeah.
Even they're not stupid enough to go anywhere near anybody with those number plates.
Okay.
This car makes sense now.
Are you going to keep it?
I wish.
Yeah, you tried driving it round, was it the Almajara you spend most of the time in a traffic jam.
Oh, very true.
There are very few cars here. The only ones you saw were official ones, the odd tuk-tuk, and that was it. It doesn't have the same feel. Yeah, so you're outside the same church. It's as ruined as last time.
Okay. Well, bring everything with us. Assume that we're not going to the car. I don't know what's going to happen, but...
You should keep the keys and lock the car. If we're still here, it seems like it's useful.
Yeah, fine. I'll keep the keys. Also, like he's going to find it. Can we park it... like not really close to the church, but...
You can put it near the church if you wanted to.
Is there like a cafe or something that we could leave it outside?
Most of the buildings here are a bit dodgy anyway, and dilapidated.
Oh, right.
There's no cafe per se, not here anyway.
Yeah, maybe just like down a street around a corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, just down an alleyway.
Yeah, that'd be easy enough.
Yeah, park it in such a way it looks like it's been dumped.
Yeah.
And then I'll park it so it's facing out of the alley in case we have to do a quick dash out of here.
A little voice from your ankle said, "Are you sure you got no Brockhurst?"
Hell, did you get from there to here?
I'm not telling you, unless you give me a Brockhurst.
I don't have any on me.
Then I'm not going to tell you. Woof. Nazi. woof, and wanders off.
Being judged by a
Dog,
crazy
green
dog.
eyes.
No, it had the typical dark eyes of a dog.
Oh.
And now you can hear his woof, bloody Nazis.
As long as it doesn't pee on my car, I don't care.
Stops.
Fine.
Head turns round. And goes, no. Just wanders off. Yeah, and you go.
I would dearly love to know how that dog has got in and out of there.
Well, maybe we'll get a Brockhurst for him next time.
Yeah. That is genuinely not a bad plan.
But,
Yeah.
If he can get in and out without being stopped.
Oh. Are you thinking of using the dog?
I like the ideas. Yep. So
There's got to be, right, if he's got in and out of that compound, and there's no way the guards would let a random dog just wander into the compound. He's got to have a way that he's got from the inside to the outside without being seen.
Alright. Sure. We'll look for a Brockhurst next time we're in the area.
Cool.
Oh boy.
You know how people say that if you're going insane you won't notice? I feel like I'm going through that process. Talking dogs and Bratwurst and army bases and Nazis.
If you're going insane in Almajara, you're probably just becoming more sane with the environment. Like, I don't think it's going to really affect you.
yep. Okay. Are you going to go wander back to the church?
Yes.
Mm-mm.
The church looks exactly the same as it did when you went there. What are you going to do? Are you going into it? Or are you going to walk directly into it? Or are you going to sneak in? Or how are you going to approach it?
Should we look around, see if there's any other entrances? Or
Shall we do a circle of it first?
Yeah.
Typical of a church, there's what's it called, the vestry entry, the door at the back, which is sort of half on its hinges.
Ooh.
Most of the windows are gone, and you can see into the church that there's some parts of the wall are missing and and there's no roof.
Do you want to go in through the back or the front?
I mean, you're the Special Forces expert. It's up to you.
Well, that's always going to be the back.
Okay.
I'm going to have my hand on my gun, so I can use it here.
Yeah. As you push the door, it sort of rocks and sort of looks as if it's going to fall off its hinges if you push it a little bit more.
Don't want that. I'll push it very carefully so it does not fall off. I want to try to be quiet.
Yeah. If you're careful, you can open it enough, but you have to go in one at a time.
Okay.
And as you go in, the vestry is just a scene of devastation. Of it, basically, if anything was valuable here, it's gone. The floor's just covered in masonry and bricks. It's dusty. And the door to the church is lying on the floor. As you outwards, as in into the church itself.
Yes.
Does it look like anybody has been in here recently?
Not in this area, no.
Does it have a strong smell?
This area only
Like
smells
monkey.
of dust and decay and mould.
Okay. It doesn't smell like a monkey lives here.
No.
Oh, good.
Are you going to the main part of the church?
I guess so.
Well, it's as you remember, there's the remains of the altar at one end. Most of the pews are damaged beyond repair. It smells of, what's it, piss, booze, old cigarettes, and over the floor there's areas where you can see there's been burning, as in someone's built a fire.
Okay.
So someone has used it as somewhere to live.
Recently?
Not really, no.
It was probably just a squatter.
Yeah. Can we head towards the crypt?
You certainly can.
Like we did last time.
Yeah, you certainly will find the way down to the crypt.
That's not ominous at all.
The question is, have you got a torch?
We've got our phones.
Yeah, we got the phones.
Okay, yeah. That'll work. Yeah, as soon as you get to the entrance, it smells really, really rank of of old booze, urine, shit, smoke, sweat. And as you go down, it gets worse. And as you,
I will take my gun out and actually have it at the ready.
yeah, you kick one bottle down as you go down, because the stairs have got bottles and cans on them. And you get down into the basement. It's much as you saw before, except it's the floor's littered with basically remains of blankets, bottles, general litter, and at one end is a big circular burn stain, which is about 4 foot in diameter.
Like the burn stain from the machine.
It's sort of circular, and it's literally whatever was there was literally incinerated. And behind it, you will see written on the wall, you'll see that. Oh, it hit the enter button. You'll see that. Written in white paint.
Okay.
Yep, whatever landed or appeared, literally was it anything there was sort of that, and it's slightly concave, as in whatever here was spherical and very big.
Okay.
It doesn't feel warm, before you ask.
Okay. I think we have our 12 digits.
Well, see, this is the complicated thing, though, because this would actually mean we have more than 12 digits, because we got those two numbers, that from the
On the
murder,
paper.
but we also had the digits from before. and that would have been 12 digits. This would make it or more than 12, 16 digits. And also, if it's 2001, 2001,
That's the year we're from, yeah.
Yeah, and it also, I don't think, it just doesn't have any letters in it, which to be a combination of the letters and the numbers. So I think this could be separate. Maybe this is what you were talking about. This might be our way back. This could be the entry point and exit point.
Yeah. So the code for so we I mean we can shall we go back to the car because this place smells awful.
Yeah, we should probably hurry back fast.
Yeah, and before it loses some tires.
Yeah. You walk up out of the crypt, and there's a familiar figure in a suit standing by the altar, looking at it. And turns around, it's Mr. Morningstar.
Oh, I knew it!
He smiles. Contrary to popular belief, I can walk in churches, even the consecrated ones. After all, I was God's favourite once upon a time. I see you still alive, and I hope you are making progress towards who is messing with reality. Things are getting worse out there. Whole realities have simply disappeared, and I think someone is out to stop you.
Can I give you a name?
You could try.
I will give him the name of the goddess that is Tanath Hushusu.
Never heard of the name.
Beware of pretty women with very green eyes.
He smiles. Oh, yes. Well, that's an interesting thing. If that person is probably responsible for trying to stop myself. He holds up a large emerald. Say, this is what left of the person, though they did say they were one of many. I think you have a real battle on your hands with this one. And you may be right, that name may be of a goddess. And it does sound like a goddess's name. But, as we all know, there is only one god and devil. And so walks past you. I wish you luck. And no, I won't give you the emerald. Unless you're prepared to give me your soul. And he smiles. After all, it's a fair price. It is a very valuable emerald.
Some things are beyond the price of rubies or even emeralds.
Ah, a virtuous man. Such a rarity in these modern days. I will be seeing you. I hope you will survive. It'll be fun.
So do we.
Sparring with you at the appropriate time. And he just walks out.
What is he doing here?
I don't know. It seems odd that he doesn't seem to be doing anything. He's more of a spectator to all of this, though.
Yeah.
He's got to be doing something because if they're trying to warn him off as well. They didn't give us emeralds, though.
What, sorry?
I just said they didn't give us emeralds. I guess we were more easily we weren't more easily convinced. Maybe they didn't want to waste the time on us.
Well, he's not exactly the best person to make a deal with, I wouldn't imagine.
Deal with the devil.
Yeah.
What I am concerned about is Mr. Morningstar said that the person who gave him this was one of many. Which...
Yeah, I caught that.
Yes, it worries me that we might be going up against a foe that is not just someone who can change, but potentially instead someone who is many.
I wonder if it's a cult.
It could be a cult. That's possible. Maybe there's some sort of ritual that allows these people to be conduits of the god. And that's why she gets used for so many places.
She did fall out of favour for being overzealous. I wonder if there's a hard core of supporters who stayed with her.
Maybe.
As you're standing there, you feel a familiar wave goes across you.
Grab your stuff!
So long, car.
And you wake up. You wake up to alarms going off, and someone's in a UN uniform saying, "Get up and get your stuff. We need to get out of here now. Come on, up. We need to get out of here now. Pick your stuff up and go." You are in the middle of a makeshift barracks. Basically, it's a big, large tent, and you're in a cot. And there are alarms going on around you, and there are people around you who are now, getting dressed very quickly and picking their stuff up. And I think I remember rightly, your stuff was in the duffel bag, and your clothes are by you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're in the cot.
Yeah, I'll just do as he says.
Mm-hmm.
Then they come back again. Come on, hurry up. It's nearly here. We need to move now.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just... I mean, I assume we're dressed, but yeah, I'll just do
You follow the rest of the people.
said quickly as we can.
Yeah, keep a close eye on all of our belongings.
Yeah.
You come out into a military compound, as in a temporary UN sort of compound with temporary walls around it. Lots of vehicles and trucks being loaded up. And as you look around to one side, or you look above you, there seems to be some very ominous clouds which seem to be spinning, which seem to have their own lights in them, and lightning. And it's getting sort of larger, and it's slowly coming down towards you. Are you getting that same feeling you got with when you were near the reality machine?
Oh shit. I think it's going to explode.
Well, usually we don't stay for the exploding part. Let's hope that...
And a familiar voice says, "Professor Dalton, Mr. Kovac, here, get into this car. We need to go before the storm hits." You see, Major Smith in a British uniform with the UN UN uniform. And he sort of motioned, "Come on, we need to get out of here now."
Yeah, let's go.
Mm-hmm. Is this looking like it's do our phones have signal?
No.
No. Okay. Trying to figure out where we are exactly.
Yeah.
This
Or
could
when.
Be
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll run over to Major Smith and
Yeah.
get in the car.
Yeah.
He does. He
Fast
sort
as
of
possible.
does that. And he sort of drives off. This is bad. This is the closest one of these storms have been here.
Have they become more frequent?
They have been over the how you say, was it more of them. It was just lucky the sentry was looking up at the time before he noticed it. And as you go out, the soil is sort of by you, sort of, it looks like it's a dust storm. It's dry, and you're sort of following the lorries, and he sort of goes sort of about half a mile away and stops and gets out. And he was it sort of as it says, you want to join me to see what it does? They are quite spectacular to watch. You'll be safe here.
Yeah.
They seem to be extremely localized.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah,
I've not been having much luck with storms recently.
No one has. This is the first time the storm's been outside of the edge. And
That's where this.
yeah, we're about 2 or 3 clicks north east of the edge. And as you watch, the storm sort of hits the ground. It's got lightning and it has a glow in it, and it literally looks like a tornado. It's literally whatever it's picking up, it's ripping apart. And that feeling of almost as if reality is being dragged through you, as if your perceptions are being sort of being, was it, dragged to one side. And the Smith says, I always hate the feeling. It makes you feel like you're being pulled apart, but you're not, if you know what I mean.
Yes. It's like it's trying to separate your body and your mind.
Yeah, bend reality itself. We still don't know what causes them. We just know that things are ripped apart or just simply disappear, as if they were never there. Destroyed most of the brothers at the edge and the island, and has gone beyond, was it now onto the mainland Europe.
Yeah. So most of the city's gone.
Yeah, we're only here to find out why, with little and no success. But it's, as you said, it's getting worse. And from down the road you see a familiar figure in a silver suit, bodysuit, carrying a silver bag. And he seems to be walking as if from the storm. And he just he sort of walks towards you. He has the face you can't remember.
Oh.
Oh, is it the cowboy?
Yep, except he's not in the cowboy thing, he's in a silver bodysuit.
Does Mr. Smith notice him?
Oh yeah, he's sort of looking at it. And a voice says, as he walks up to you, "Thank you, Major, for getting them here. And the storm will mask our presence from the entity long enough to hand out one of the last things you'll need to stop the reality engine machine. Our time here is once again short, so please don't say anything and allow me to as it finish. At this point you'll dip into the bag and pull out 2 what look like heavy duty watches." Basically you've seen the watches that what's it in Torchwood that certain, was it Major used, certain, oh what's his name,
Harkness.
Captain Harkness uses it. They're very like that, very chunky with a cover on them, as in you fold it over, and he sort of walks up and hands these to you, one each. These devices allow you to jump realities. There are 3 settings. One will be the 10,000 year of Reich, your home reality, and the alternate reality. In addition, the devices only have enough energy for 2 jumps, so use them carefully. And he basically goes into the bag again, and he hands you over 2 sets of IDs. And if you look at the IDs, these are your proper German IDs, which are in your German name with your pictures on. As in, one says Major Kovac, and one says, I forgot what your title was, Spanführer. He said, you'll need these IDs to get into compound of the reality machine when you need to, as I suspect the time you get there, security will be a lot more tighter. He'll step back at this point. You have one more bit of information to get, which will be given you at the next jump. The entity forces you to do. Once you have it, you'll be free to plan how you're going to stop the machine, but I suspect the entity will try to stop you, so I wish you good luck, and you need to succeed, as all reality is depending on you. He just turns and walks off, and he stops and turns round and looks at Major Smith. It seems at this point he disappears, and Major Smith turns. It seems he's given you a lot to do, and I hope you succeed. Things are getting worse here. Al-Majara is in ruins, and as I said, most of Europe. I have no idea when you will jump. All I know is that it will be soon, and I will wait with you. I think that's a good point to stop, isn't it, at this point? As you jump again, and guess what? You're asleep in bed. I think that's a good point to stop. We'll leave the rest for the next one. Oh, I actually did enough material last week. Woohoo! So, did you enjoy that?
Ah, that was a lot.
That was fun.
Yeah, most of that, as I said, making lots of that as I go along, because as you said, your actions doing that. I think you've got a lot of information what you needed to do, and I said you've got the bits and pieces. Just one more bit of information, and you'll be ready to